How's it going, y'all? And welcome to Nature Time with Luke. In this video, we're going to be looking for an elusive owl species that I've spent the past 2 years searching for. The northern Saw-whet owl. With their tiny stature, excellent camouflage, and propensity to spend their days hiding in the dense foliage of conifers, if I was going to find a saw-whet, I need to be on my A game. Luckily for me, I had an ace up my sleeve. During one of my most recent birding trips, I got some intel about a good place to check for saw-whet owls. Armed with this knowledge and a burning desire to finally find my nemesis bird, I left my apartment with a feeling that the odds were in my favor. When I got to the location, I was met with beautiful conditions. The sky was clear, the temperature wasn't too cold, and there was only a slight breeze blowing through the trees. As I headed towards the general area where I'd been told to check for owls, I trudged through a thick layer of snow. A few days prior to recording this video, southern Ontario was hammered with snow, and as a result, this was probably the snowiest winter we've had in a long time. The amount of snow we got is really best showcased by visiting my parents' backyard. Just about everywhere you looked, there was a thick blanket of snow. Out of curiosity, my dad and I decided to measure how much snow we had gotten, and turns out we were just shy of 2 feet. In order to keep the backyard accessible, my parents created a system of pathways which would allow them to maintain the backyard bird baths and family fish pond. For anyone wondering about what we do with our fish during the winter, the answer is nothing. Thankfully, our pond is deep enough that our goldfish and koi can stay out there year-round. This not-so-little guy is named Daniel, named after Daniel Radcliffe. Although my parents' backyard may not look like much right now, during the spring and summer, this place is transformed into an oasis for wildlife. Not only have my parents created a small vegetable garden, but they've also planted countless native Ontarian plant species. And in turn, these species provide food and habitat for a wide variety of native wildlife. For example, the swamp milkweed which my parents have planted serves as the host plant for the monarch butterfly, an endangered species here in Canada. Each summer, monarch butterflies will lay their eggs on the leaves of host plants such as milkweed. Once the eggs hatch, the caterpillars will continuously feed on the leaves of the plant. Once the caterpillar is large enough, it will form a chrysalis, which will protect it while it undergoes its transformation from caterpillar to butterfly. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of life to be found while I searched for saw-whets. As I approached a promising stand of conifers, I began to look for signs of roosting owls. I scanned the trunks of trees for whitewash, otherwise known as owl poop, and the bases of trees for owl pellets and feathers. I was also keeping my ears open for the scolding cries of mobbing birds, such as black-capped chickadees, American crows, and blue jays. Most birds don't like it when a predatory species such as an owl is in the area, so if they ever come across one, they will collectively harass the bird until it leaves. Listening for the sounds of mobbing birds can be an extremely effective way of locating owls. Unfortunately for me, I was hearing absolutely nothing while I searched for saw-whets. After nearly 3 hours of searching, I decided to check one final conifer before I called it quits. As I peered through the branches, I noticed something out of the ordinary. A small round bird nestled amongst the needles. I had found my owl. At just about the size of an American robin, This tiny nocturnal predator primarily feeds on small species of rodents, birds, and insects. As I filmed this incredible species, I couldn't help but think about how lucky I was to have found it. It would have been so easy to miss. After spending a couple of minutes with this sleeping owl, I decided to leave it be as I didn't want to bother it. Unfortunately, there are quite a few people who don't give owls the respect they deserve. Because owls are such beautiful and enigmatic creatures, people often get extremely excited when they find one. And what can end up happening is a total disregard for the owl's comfort level and personal space, all for a closer look or better photo. In comparison to other birds, owls are an extremely sensitive species. If, for example, a nocturnal species of owl is kept awake during the day because of human disturbance, they run the risk of being too tired to hunt for food. With species such as the Saw-whet Owl weighing anywhere between 75 and 105 grams, which is just about the same weight as a bar of soap, one missed meal could seriously impact the owl's ability to survive. This is especially true during the winter months when food can be scarce. So if you're viewing an owl and it is staring right at you with eyes wide open, or has its plumage compressed with ear tufts pointed straight up, it is likely that you are looking at an owl that is threatened by your presence, in which case it is best to leave it alone. Owls are incredibly beautiful and mesmerizing creatures that we humans get to observe for free, and all they ask for in return is that we show them the respect which they deserve. And at the end of the day, isn't the life of an owl much more valuable than a closer look or a better photo? Unfortunately, I haven't been able to go birding as much as I would have liked to in these past couple of months, due to the fact that I'm just about to finish my Bachelor's of Education. For the past month or so, most of my free time has been spent either finishing off final assignments or creating lessons for grades 7 and 8 science students.
They have scent glands here?
Along with finishing up my degree, my intermediate volleyball team has just finished off our most recent season, and before anyone asks, yes, I do watch Haikyuu, and of course, my favorite character is...
Interesting.
I've also been doing a fair bit of reading lately. Some of my favorite books have been Owls of the Eastern Ice by Jonathan Slatt, The Birdway and What an Owl Knows by Jennifer Ackerman, The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer, Every Tool is a Hammer by Adam Savage, and The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Steve Brusatte. But other than that, I've just been trying to spend as much time as I can with my friends and family, because in less than a month, I'll be moving. Just over a month ago, I accepted a job offer at the Lesser Slave Lake Bird Observatory in Alberta, Canada. Located just 3 hours north of Edmonton, the observatory is smack dab in the middle of Canada's boreal forest. I'll be arriving in Slave Lake just before the peak of spring migration, so prepare yourselves for much more birding content within the next few months. The last time I was in Alberta was nearly 4 years ago when my girlfriend and I were moving west to Vancouver. Not only did we get to see some incredible wildlife and beautiful landscapes, I also accidentally murdered hundreds of grasshoppers with my car, got to see this beautifully preserved Borealopelta fossil, and I met my great times 185 million grandmother. Although I am extremely excited for this next chapter, being apart from my friends, family, and incredible girlfriend for the next 6 months is going to be tough, which is why I've been so grateful for their encouragement and support during this transition. Ever since graduating from my first degree, I've worked countless dead-end jobs and felt totally lost and directionless. But after years of searching, I can finally say that I feel like I'm on the right path. So with that being said, thanks for watching everyone. Go bird or go home.